Welcome back in to Estadio BBVA Nuevo León. It is a city rivalry as Rayados take on Tigres. Keith Costigan alongside Warren Barton, and one of the best visuals you'll ever see at any stadium in the world. We're hoping we get some good visuals on the field today. Expecting an attacking match, two sides that will go at each other today?
I think so, Keith, particularly Monterrey being at home. Last time they played, they won 5-1 against Leon, whose defending line was appalling to say the least. But what a view that is of a stadium. Look at the fans and the scenery behind. But both teams, Tigres are more conservative, but we've seen with Monterrey being at home, the conditions may come into it with the heat and the humidity, but you'd expect them to be on the front foot and make it a very difficult afternoon for that gentleman.
Well, hot in the city, and that man generally is hot under the collar as well, Miguel Herrera. Never shy to show his emotions. He has been a big game coach throughout his career as well. Cholos taking on Monterrey, that game coming up on Thursday, but right now the focus on the biggest game in Liga MX this weekend. Tigres getting set to kick things off. Our match referee today is Fernando Guerrero Ramirez. Monterrey coming off that big 1-1 tie against Toluca. Rested some players as well in that one, the top of the table clash. They had one eye on this one. It's the most important match in the region, and one of the marquee matchups in all of Mexican football. Tigres kick things off, attacking from left to right. Well, immediately going back, you can see straight away in that back three, Angulo, Reyes. Back three where the wing backs do get forward. Warren, not as prolific as Monterrey this season, but perhaps a better balance in terms of defence and attack so far for Tigres this year. Yeah, with
Herrera, the coach, he's always been a little bit more conservative the way he plays, and sometimes he needs to grind results out, and the hard work and the honest, the committed, very much how he is on the sideline when you see him powering up and down and making it difficult against teams. But this Monterrey team have got pace. They've got a good balance in midfield. Defensively, they look strong. They've got experience. You've only got to look at their bench, the players that can't get in the team. So, as much as it's a big loss, Funes Mori's not been in there, they gain a little bit of momentum and pace going in behind.
You look to the rest of the attack. Rodrigo Aguirre starting for the 6th time this season. He's already got 4 goals. 4th start for Bertarami. He's got 3 goals. So they've spread those goals around in the attack. Chida Gonzalez, a real star in the attack in that victory against Leon. Medina with the free kick. Inside his own half of the field.
Keith, just in this game, just as a player, you've built it up, you've been rested maybe the weekend. All week have been talking about this game. You want to get a good touch on the ball, you want to make sure you do something very secure. Unlike that, you don't want to give the ball away cheaply. There's a lot of energy, a lot of emotions going in the game. You've got to pace yourself, you can't go too quick, too early and run yourself into the ground. So don't be surprised, maybe with Tigres, particularly being away from home, although it's not too far, they might slow it down a little bit. They may take a little bit of heat out of the game. From Monterrey's point of view, they want to be forward, they want to be aggressive and win the first and second balls if they can.
And again, he gives them that physical presence, doesn't he, in that final third. Really good header again in midweek against Toluca.
Oh, yeah, it was. And it was a wonderful delivery, but the power he was able to generate. And again, he's a lot more mobile. And we've seen it in the past with Monterrey. You rely sometimes maybe on one player. I think now they've got a fine balance that they can rely on maybe 2 or 3 players up front to cause you problems.
This goes back for Hector Moreno. 8-match unbeaten run in Liga MX play for Monterrey. Only the 4th home game. They've won the previous 3. Only beaten America, Puebla and that Leon massacre last time out. Tigres is a very different proposition. Quiñones, nice little touch back for Aquino.
Well, they're streetwise as well, Keith. We've done enough of their games to realise that they're not going to be naive. They're not going to be opened up.
Aguirre dropping a little bit deeper here. He's a powerful runner as well. Was that a foul? Guido Pizarro was the closest in proximity alongside Aquino. The whistle has gone in favour of Rayados.
You're right, KB, but we're very happy to drop in. And again, it's a little bit of a novelty with these 2 coaches. They're both playing 2 strikers, not out-and-out strikers, but 2 forwards, if you like. So if one does come short, you've still got that option to go forward. And we're very much in the last 5 or 6 years just had one striker and someone in the hole just behind, but now you're looking at a new transition. Maybe it started in Italy with Inter Milan to have 2 out-and-out strikers. And that's a different proposition, particularly if you're playing 3 at the back. The 2 of them can go and pin the 3, and where you've got spaces in them wide areas for someone like Maxi Mesa to get on the ball.
Free kick here in a good position. Aguirre Soto going towards that far post. A header at the near post. Monterrey will have a second opportunity here from the throw-in. Tigres, they've had a full week to prepare for this one, coming off a 2-0 win over Santos last weekend. Quiñones and Cordova with the goals, but Carioca picking up a rather needless second yellow in that game to get a red card, and he's suspended for today.
Yeah, and he's a big loss. They do have a good balance in midfield. It was a little bit weak, I think, the second yellow card. He just seemed to put his arm out, but that's the game that we live in at the moment. The referee seemed like he couldn't get the card out quick enough.
He's trying to put a little bit of pressure on Rayados defensively, but they come clear. Ball played centrally. Ball forward there, and again it's Bertarami. He drops into that almost number 10 position, the former Atletico San Luis man. Nice ball in behind this time, good running behind this time, and Aguirre not too far away from getting a touch on that one.
But Keith, doesn't that just epitomises what this team's about? You know, we spoke 90 seconds before, he's coming short for the ball. Now his partner Bertarami's coming short, which creates space for him to go in behind. And that's how fluid they are up front. If one goes short, the other one goes long, and it's not always the same person. Because you'll see it in the game that they will push up, and Bertarami will be the one going in behind, because he's not short of pace either. Vucevic, the coach, has got a real handful judging everybody and working it out, but he seems to do an excellent job so far.
Chita Gonzalez, little touch out wide to Bertarami. As you mentioned, that pace, creates a yard with it, tries to whip in across, and just too far ahead of Aguirre, and now to play for the goal kick. But Monterrey certainly on the front foot here early on. Yeah,
Keith, you can just sense it in their play. They're aggressive when they get the ball. They're aggressive when they're pressing the ball. They're aggressive when they're challenging for the ball. They've got a real appetite for the game. You rightly said, went to Toluca and got a point, went away from home, got 3 points, coming back home last time they won 5-1, so it doesn't matter. And this is their big rivals, their derby, so there's an added spice, but they come into the game full of confidence.
Good work again. Goffney back in and just gets it back to his goalkeeper. Now a chance for Tigres to break the other way. Quiñones looking for a bit easy read by Enrique Aguirre.
Well, I just sensed there then they needed to go a little bit quicker, because now you'll see the yellow shirts funneling back. If you do break it up quickly against a team that's so well organised with the 3 at the back, you've got to try and utilise that counter-attack a little bit quicker.
Romo, he's been bright to start this season so far, the Apertura.
He's starting to come into it, Keeper. I mean, we've been a big fan of his, and he's flattered to deceive, and just starting to see why they paid the money coming from Cruz Azul with the swap that they had. Oh, there we go. Kiss of death, giving the ball away.
Yeah. He's won it back though, so there you go.
There we go. He was getting a little bit of the boo boys on his back towards last season. Now, all of a sudden, he seems to have that little bit of confidence. Whether that's the coach giving him that as well.
Aguirre, very mobile this attack now, even without Funes Mori. Lopez, Quiñones, tries for that little touch in behind. Gignac was just playing on the shoulder of the last defender. 3 goals on the campaign so far for André Pierre Gignac. It is Ronaldo Aguirre again going out wide. Nice little ball in behind. Lovely football, but good defensive cover. All pulled back, and that one just wide. He has been really lively so far, Rodrigo Aguirre.
Yeah, he's impressed me. He's starting the game, because sometimes you think when these games, it's such a big game, sometimes it can overall play. He looks like he's really up for the challenge and looking forward to it. And he's got a good partner next to him like him. And you can just tell by their look in their face and their eyes that they're ready for this game. They're on the front foot. That little combination with Gonzalez giving it back. They're just trying to guide it with that left foot.
And
they're playing so quick.
The replay, yeah.
They must be doing well if Ortiz's got up the field, because normally he's the number 6 and just breaks everything up. So Tigres, Keith, we know, we've been around this team long enough in this league. They're not gonna fold, but they're coming under a lot of pressure at the moment. And here's the better view, trying to play out from the back.
Guzman, not his best moment.
Well, he should score. I mean, that's the first time obviously we've seen it, but he should score. He should at least hit the target.
Warren, we covered Rayados when Javier Aguirre was the manager, and they got a little bit stale going forward, where they didn't look like creating. This looks like a very different team.
From day one, since he's come in, the coach, he's obviously playing with house money because he's a legend at this club, what he's done in the Champions League and what he's been able to do. So he's come in, but he's just changed the philosophy of the players, the club. They're more aggressive, they're more pleasing on the eye, and they're winning games, which obviously makes a big difference. But and you touched on it, point playing Toluca, which was the top of the table. He left 5 or 6 players out, key players,
yep,
and brought other players in that normally don't get a run in the game. You know, Gonzalez at number 6, Sanchez comes into the game. Godardo, the players that don't really see a lot of first team football at the moment, but he played them in end games and then realising that this game was coming along. So you're right, Keith. You're watching them now. You've got a tendency that there's got goals in them. They've got fight in them. They want to get forward. They want to entertain.
Anya was trying to break there. Quiñones coming very narrow. That opens up the space out wide for Aquino. Slip ball in from Angulo. Quiñones trying to play it in behind Aguirre.
Oh!
Underside of the wood working out. I think the goalkeeper might have got a hand to that as well. Out of absolutely nothing. An absolute rocket. Play continues. Another ball in, and Andrada will just drop on this one. Well, Tigres have offered very little going forward so far, but a flash of genius from about 30 yards out almost gave them the opening goal.
You're right, it was a genius. He just sat up for him and he's whipping. Look at the body shape, and it just bounces. Clearly doesn't go over the line, but wow, it nearly broke the crossbar. This is a better angle. It comes out. Easy save in the end just for the second time round and just to cool everybody down. But it just shows you how much in this Tigres team that they've got a bite in them, and pardon the pun with their mascot being a tiger, but they've took some punches, took some stuff, and now they're ready there just with that shot to break the deadlock.
Lopez must have thought he'd scored when he hit that.
The technique, I mean, you've got a sweet left foot, my friend. You know what it's like. As soon as he left it.
Not like that.
No, I didn't. Well, he said you got sweet left foot. Not as good as that one, but you know when it leaves your foot how good it was, and he was already celebrating. And you got a goalkeeper in there that's experienced. He couldn't move. He didn't see it.
Free kick given here for Tigres.
I think Herrera wants. He's saying, look, Herrera saying Herrera put his arm out. He's asking for an elbow.
That's a big part of his game, Aguirre, the physical side.
Yeah.
Someone at Necaxa where he not just efficient in front of goal, 9 goals in the Clausura, but made life hell for every centre back. I don't want to stereotype Warren, but Uruguayan strikers in general have that physical side to the game, don't they?
Well, I think they thrive under the physical challenge. You know, some countries don't like the physical side of the game. They want it to be neat, tidy, easy, simple passing, but they're even the defenders, you know, you look at all the wonderful defenders they have, they don't mind putting their foot in, and they don't mind the other side of the game, and you're right, that physical side doesn't intimidate them at all.
Played forward, Bertrami dropping in, a little bit of space to run, he's got options on either side, tries to play the ball out for Mesa. Wasn't a great ball by Bertrami, but Monterrey get it back. Romo. A lot of space central here. Maybe a chance to go for goal as well, as that ball's won back well by Cordova. Some appeals for a free kick, but nothing doing from the referee. Cordova was trying to break, and then instead he's played a square ball that's put his teammate in trouble, and Rayados have it back. Well,
that's the problem with Gignac as well, that as great as he is, and he's never relied on his pace. Once you do win the ball on the counter-attack, they haven't got the pace of what Monterrey, so it's got to be a bit more patient. And as you said, they broke well, but then they have to wait for the reinforcements to come and help them.
Going back for Andrada.
So far, Keith, this game is not disappointing. We're building it up as a classic game, and the quality's been good, the strikes have been good. You can feel the tension in the air with the players and with the fans. It's brilliant.
The ball in over the top here. Vegas making the run forward from left back to Chilean, but that's a good piece of defending. Cordova's been diligent in that part of his game as well, and Lopez helping out too.
He's been asked to do a job in there, the young player, and he's normally been seen more of a wide player, a busy type of player, but his responsibility's been good tracking back, and you know once he gets the ball he's going to look to pass it forward, so first signs have been very good. Vegas
gets that return from Celso Ortiz. of space for Conchita Gonzalez, trying to get that cross in, but good piece of defending by Reyes. Warren, you've played in a number of rivalry matchups. I mean, how difficult is it? Because coaches will talk about keeping ahead and staying calm, but once you get on the field, the emotions of the occasion, the fans, how difficult is it to be calm and just play the normal game and not let that get to you?
No, I think experience comes into it as well. If you've had a few of them games, you can do it, but you can just sense whether it's on the Thursday or the 2 days before the press conference, the questions are out. You go into restaurants, you go into a shop, and they're talking about the game coming along and stuff like that. So listen, it's there, and that's what you play for. You play for the big games. You want to play winning for titles and cup finals, and the local derby games you want to play, particularly when everything's at stake. You win this game, you end up being top of the league. And they've got a problem here.
Yeah, Rayanas have a player down.
Gutierrez was getting warmed up, and he'd be a big loss. He's been excellent for this team so far.
Yeah, the right back this isn't a good sign. Shaking his head, Quiñones from Tigres coming across and sportingly trying to find out what exactly is wrong. Let's have a look. Where's that effort?
Wonderful strike. No chance. He's waving at the air. Clearly didn't go over the line. The only thing I would say when you have games like this, Gabe, is people are tense. Their muscles. You don't really get warmed up as much as you want. Maybe this has come into it where he's not maybe as loose with the heat and everything else. And we touched on that again the other day, but so he wasn't involved. But it's just sometimes the occasion is a lot for the players.
Two players warming up on either side. Morgencio, but you mentioned Gutierrez warming up. You have Gallardo, though, if you wanted to just really rejig that back four, and he could come on at left back. Says that Montez Medina could go to right back as well.
I mean, you would think that's the better option, but I think they're worried with the pace, maybe down the middle. So
it is going to be Edson Gutierrez coming on.
Well, he played there the other day as well, so he'll be familiar to that. Medina is quite comfortable playing in the middle. He's experienced enough, the Colombian.
Edson Gutierrez coming on for his 5th appearance of the Apertura. 3rd time he's come off the bench. Six-year-old's got enough experience. It can be difficult, though, in a game of this pace to come in and find the pace of the game quickly. Vegas. Right from Moreno. Searching ball, looking for a run forward on that side. Maxi Mesa was a bit more inside, but it's going to be a throw into Tigres. That was the first run for the substitute. Is he going to give a yellow card here, or is he just moving pockets?
I think he's just trying to find where they was. He was doing it before the game,
making sure he had them with him.
Making sure he had the red cards with him and the other cards. He's just making sure he's got them all there.
Yeah, big day, not just for the teams, but
exactly.
for referees as well, because we know more and more the spotlight becomes on them too. Gonzalez looked like he was pulled back there, and that was such a needless one. Reyes. It's going to be a free kick or a throw, and it's going to be on the ground. And then for some reason, trying to kick it into the player to force the 10 yards. Maxi Mesa and Gonzalez both over this one, so you got right and left-footed options. Well, that arrow would be a nice way to go, but I don't think that's the intention here of either player. Gonzalez, flick, far post, real opportunity, and what a miss. Moreno, frustrated, he doesn't do better. The centre-back just ghosted in the first touch right to his foot, and he completely missed the target.
The only thing I would say in his defence, it was just slightly behind him. But a wonderful delivery. He's looking to get the second ball. Look at him at the top of the screen. He goes in. He's already gone early. That would be my only thing that would be to defend him. He's just there that little bit too early, and then he's trying to reach behind him. This is a better angle here. Just watch how he's trying to turn his body and get it into the goal. Where if he's coming onto it, it's a little bit easier. Defending it, he looks like a centre-half the way he's put that chance, and I think that reaction says it all. But there's another sign. You can't keep playing in big games like this and not put the chances away.
And no disrespect to Hector Moreno, but not necessarily the man you want.
No,
big
no,
chance to fall
no.
to.
But he's obviously works on it as you do. Your defender goes round the back for any second ball, but he just got there a little bit too early, maybe a little bit too keen to get onto it. He just waiting that split second. That's enough to put him off. But still, to do better. Someone like him.
Space coming through for Nico Lopez. Lopez, and that one's off the woodwork. This time Andrade did get a touch onto the post. And Monterrey just caught napping defensively. And Lopez maybe will feel like he should have scored.
Well, it made it even a better attempt because the way it bobbled, and it's made it a better save by the goalkeeper because they broke through again. And he didn't hit it clean, and he sort of scuffed it, if you like, and that was really difficult for the goalkeeper to get his arm across it and make that save. And Medina in the end just tucking it away. They give the ball away here. We'll worry about that afterwards, but here, just as he pulls his shot and just scuffs it into the ground.
We're taking quickly, Quinones getting to the line, trying to get that cross in, and Gutierrez will have the chance to clear. And that looked like it might have been a free kick. Instead, play is going to continue.
Look who's coming back.
1 against 5 for Panchito Gonzalez.
Oh, look at that, Keith. You know, look at the determination to get back from their own corner. And another
challenge. Maxi Mesa. I think he felt he was pulled back initially. He was back on his feet.
This is just starting to simmer. You can see now Mesa's just having a word and there's pushing and shoving. The ref just needs to get hold of it. I'm not saying he needs to start throwing around yellow cards, because every time there's a tackle now, both set of players are saying there should be a card. But he just needs to be strong now, the referee.
I think if you watch the replay, that he's trying to apologise to Laronha, who sportingly takes the hand. But before that, Maxi Mesa was pulled down in the initial break. Yeah, he was reckless with the foot, but he was
first
nowhere
one,
near the... Wow.
Yeah, I think it's more his body actually caught.
Well, both feet were nowhere near it.
And this is a great test for Monterrey, because they've had games at home where they've dominated and they feel quite comfortable, but Tigres have come in here. If they didn't know beforehand, they know now they're going to be a tough team to beat.
Won 2 of the 3 road matches so far, Tigres. 1-0 at a much improved Juarez, and 1-0 at a much improved Mazatlan over recent weeks as well, it has to be said. Here come Tigres down that left-hand side. The cross in. They seem to have targeted that side since Aguirre's come off. Reyes. Laronha giving width on the right instead. Finds that pocket of space for Cordova.
Yeah, they're starting to have good possession now. They've got good shape with the wing backs. It causes a problem for Monterrey whether Vegas comes out or... And he's the danger man, this fella going forward.
Ronaldo Aguirre again, what pace. Bertarami making the run the other way. Aguirre still has it, and he was going to go for goal from all of 30 yards. He's been a handful.
But Bertaram didn't want to make that run. He should have stayed away, because when he comes over, he brings another defender. Just stay away from the area, keep him away, because you know your partner wants to go on that left-hand side. So that's where they just got to work each other out, find the system of where they want to go with each other. That's that combination of chemistry that sometimes takes some time, and with other players it clicks straight away.
You've played alongside some big, powerful strikers in your time, the Shearers and the Ferdinands of this world that have managed to find a way to make it work.
It's quite easy when you add them two.
Lopez. There's a pull back for Gignac. Quinones inside the area on his left foot, right at the goalkeeper. But more and more chances going Tigres' way over the last couple of minutes. Again, Monterrey left wanting defensively.
And the problem they're getting at Monterrey is because the wing backs of Tigres are pushing up. As a fullback, they're going in a little bit, and then that leaves your wide players isolated, and they're not coming back to help out. So as a fullback, I'm making the wide player and the midfield player, and this time it's from that left-hand side coming in, and they just need to communicate, or you need to cut that line off. And just at the moment, Tigres having a little bit more joy.
Again in the battle with Reyes to stop the foul. He's going to go against the big Uruguayan striker.
I like him. The more I'm seeing him, the more I like him.
Seems to just revel in that physical nature of the game.
And he's going out getting toe-to-toe. He don't mind who he speaks to, and you want that in a player.
And he hasn't picked on anybody. No. It's gone after Guido Pizarro.
Pizarro won't pull away either, so that'd be something to keep an eye on.
It won't big heavyweight fight already today. Maybe we're going to see another. Here come Tigres again, and that's going to be a free kick in a really good position. Tricky play by Aquino. Career out of playing on that left, coming in on his right. You know what he's going to do, Aquino, but not as easy to stop it.
And again, they're asking for cards, and this one's more just a little bit late from Ortiz, just trying to stop it. Stop the momentum at the moment, because at the moment it's gone with Tigres. They're the ones dominating. They're the ones looking dangerous going through, and Monterrey just at the moment have just lost their shape and lost a little bit of discipline. And the ref's going to have eyes in the back of his head, because you can imagine that people be grabbing and pulling and pushing and everything going on here.
I'm not sure if this is just out of range for Gignac.
Good for him.
Yeah, he went for it, didn't he? And it's a couple of yards over.
Yeah, he don't mind.
You know you have seniority at a club when everybody else just walks away from the free kick. There's no even conversation.
Well, I think he's earned his right, Keith. You know, I think he's gone in there with the ability that he's got, the range of goals that he's scored throughout his career.
A couple of down seasons in terms of just niggling injuries, but 11 goals in the Clausura is best since Guardiana's 2020.
I think this is ideal for Monterrey. They're having obviously a water break, and Vucicic will just get his troops together, because they've just lost that little bit of shape, particularly in the wide areas. You look at Tigres, they've got something to say. They're really antagonising everybody. They really want to go with this. They're not intimidated by coming in this environment, and it all leads from him, the captain, so he don't mind, and that has a knock-on effect. They've got a personality, this team.
You wondered as well, without Carioca in the middle of midfield, they lose a little bit of that steel, but Pizarro taking it upon himself. What's the message in these kind of moments here, Warren? Tigres have started to take back control. What's Herrera saying to his troops?
He's saying he's saying now, keep your discipline, keep your shape, because we've got them on the ropes. We've got them where we want them. Now can we maybe utilise that space where the fullbacks are in that no man's land? They don't know whether to go wide. They're leaving that little pocket in behind. So people like Lopez can run in behind. Gignac can maybe get in between the centre half and the left back. So he's just saying now, we're going to get a chance. It's if you can take it. Monterrey, I would imagine on the other side, we need to get compact. We need to get together at the moment, because we're turning the ball over, we're giving it away. Just keep your shape for 5 or 6 minutes to get yourself back in the game. Leave your two centre forwards to occupy their back line at the moment.
On the other side, Victor Manuel Vucicic, I mean, his side did really start well. Again, he's been a handful. Seen less of Bertarami so far.
Yeah, and like I said, I'd put them two further up the field. I'd trying to get them maybe to bypass Tigres' midfield and get it into your two centre forwards a little bit earlier, and let him go toe to toe, because they ain't going to back down from anybody.
One of these two is saying, I bet I get the best table in the restaurant tonight. Well, only one of them will be going out.
Depending what restaurant you go. And again, they're getting it for. I mean, both experienced coaches, both know exactly what they're doing. For the referee, he's got no hiding place, whether it's in front of 50,000 people or in front of the players. But I'm loving it.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
You can just sense that tension, and Victor Manuel Vucicic, he's seen us actually had a couple of spells as Tigres manager as well. Perhaps the calmer of the two, but perhaps that's more his nature than Miguel Herrera, who seems to thrive when he is just about to boil over.
No, I think Monterrey's coach will be the more anxious one. You could tell with Herrera, the Tigres coach, he's the one that's animated and really can sense that his team. There's certain moments in a game where you feel you've got the momentum at the moment, but you need that goal. You need that goal to change it. Monterrey, on the other hand, are saying, all right, we're not in the game at the moment. What we can't do is concede, because if we give them a lifeline to this, they'll have their tails up even more. So we've got to go and take the punches and then start playing our soccer, start finding a way to get in the game.
Lopez, what a super ball. Well, if he meant that, that is technique of the highest possible level.
Well, they do that because of their system. They're wide play. Their wing-backs stay so wide, so you know you've got that option. And as I just said, the Monterrey's wide players are tucking in to be nice and narrow, so they don't give space in midfield. So you know you've got that outlet. You can hit it blind. You can hit it into an area where you know someone's there.
Gutierrez is running into a bit of a blind alley now in between two and goes down holding his head.
They're going after him. You're right. He's coming. He's 26 years of age and he's been around at the club a while, but he's not used to playing regular in these type of games. And you can just tell he's a little bit apprehensive. He's getting closed down, and they're going after him. They can sense he's the weakness. I don't think the kick in the head was meant at all, but they're after him. And Vegas, on that left-hand side, the Chilean, he's more of a centre-half, so he's a little bit out of position as well. So that's maybe why they are having problems, Monterrey, with their fullbacks.
Yeah, we have seen Vegas a number of times playing that centre-back position. But Victor Moreno preferred on that left-sided centre-back. Oh, they have an embarrassment of riches there. Cesar Montes on the bench as well.
I'd do that more often now. I'd go up to my forwards just for that 5-10 minutes to try and get them involved in the game, to try and put some pressure. You want him engaged in the game. His record's excellent scoring goals the last couple of years.
Bertarami, this is home now, but he actually helped knock Monterrey out of the Clausura on penalties. He scored one of the penalties for San Luis in the reclassification round, as we see that little push there by the...
Did we do that game?
We did, yes. You have a good memory.
For an old fella.
Except when it comes to paying me back.
Or buying a drink.
Strategic more than anything else. Play from Roma. Nice touch and nice acceleration away from the big Mexican international. Nice ball forward as well. Mesa. Now there's some space for Bertarami in a wide channel. Pulls this one back. Good pace on that pass. Roma. Aguirre and runs into trouble, and that would have been a free kick. I think it still might be. The ref just waiting to see if there was an advantage, and now that's a yellow that has been coming.
Yeah, he knew he was getting it as well. He knew that his touch. But what's been fantastic for Tigres, when they do get caught, which has been very limited, how many yellow shirts get back? And he's late. He's just reckless there. His centre forward's tackle coming back, so he's always going to get a yellow card. But the next couple of tackles that he's going to be involved in, don't be surprised they get around the referee and ask for another yellow. And like you've said, Keith, he plays on the edge. That's what makes him what he is. So he's going to have a quiet word from someone just to say, keep focused. Yes, be aggressive, but just be careful, because every time you challenge, they're going to be going around the referee asking for another yellow card.
Other forwards might feel like, well, playing with a yellow card's not too big a deal, but not near as physical as that man. Ball forward for Quiñones, gets there just ahead of Gutierrez, but good read defensively by Medina. Celso Ortiz twisting and turning, and well, he took too long on the ball, and that's allowed Tigres to break here. Cordova, really good defensive play initially to win it, and Cordova's going to win a free kick here, and it's going to be a yellow card. Luis Romo picks up the yellow for the tactical foul more than anything else on the counter-attack again from Tigres. So Ortiz to blame on that one.
Yeah, well, I think Ortiz, you're right, Keith, he took too long, and I think it was a good tackle. The reason they're saying that he caught the player, but when he went down and taking too long, the momentum went into him, and that one there, another player that's puts himself around, can make a tackle, but they was asking for this one, but I think he gets the whole ball.
Yep.
Just the momentum where he kicks the ground. Ortiz, he took too long. In any game, you're not going to have that time on the ball, but they get called out of it. And again, tactical just brings him back. No hesitation. Referee in a good position. There's 2 yellow cards in the space of 45 seconds. So Monterrey have to be careful.
Yeah, it is Ortiz who did fall awkwardly after that gets the attention. Cordova, no real issue with the tactical foul from Roma. Perhaps one he would do himself. Both having a bit of a smile and a laugh about it. There has been a good response from Tigres, though, hasn't it, since that early pressure from Rayados?
I think it's when Lopez hit the crossbar. That's when they believed that there was something for them. Keith, you go into games like this and you've got to compete, you've got to tackle, you've got to put yourself around. You know the home team with how they're playing are going to come at you. And you say as a group of players going into stick together the first 5-10 minutes, we're not conceding. Once we get into that, the little look around with each other, the experienced players is right, now we can start playing, now we can start getting onto it. And they smashed it against the crossbar, and since that time Tigres are the ones that have really started dominating.
coming across here.
It's had to take him off that. I actually thought, looking at it, Keith, he sort of kicked the ground.
Yeah.
I don't think it was actually the challenge. I think it was him just kicking the ground and then he flipped up in the air. But we was all saying the same thing. Pass it earlier, get rid of it earlier.
Real body blow. Already playing without Rogelio Funes Mori today, and we don't have an exact timetable on his return, but this would be a real blow.
That's what I'm saying. He's kicked the ground and maybe kicked his foot, and it's maybe where his ankle rolled over, because I don't think it was anything to do with the actual tackle on the ball. He kicks the ground and then kicks his knee.
Kranovic, an obvious one to perhaps come on. Again, a long-range free kick from Gignac, right into the wall. I wonder if one of his teammates will have a word and say, "I'm not cross one of those." Perhaps not. Right, coming the other way for Maxi Mesa. Up against Lignovsky. Mesa twisting and turning. Good play from the Tigres number 2. And now it's going to be free kick.
Yeah, I think the referee assistant has given it. Mesa was going into a cul-de-sac, he had nowhere to go. He needs to have more influence in these type of games. We've seen him being involved and be brilliant for 5, 6, 7 minutes, then he drifts out of the game. This is when you need him. This is when you're under pressure. This is when you want your better players to start getting on the ball.
Incidentally, it was just a throw-in given, so that was good from the assistant referee. But now it's a corner in Quiñones. He thought it was a goal kick.
It's a bit controversial if this ends up in the back of the net. This is something that Monterrey have done better on this season. We talked about the coach and his style of football. Set pieces have been much better. Whether it's the delivery or whether it's just the desire at the end of it.
Quiñones won't be allowed to stay there, that's for sure.
He's already had 3 yellow cards this season and a red card. The Colombians, stay away. You know what the rules are.
They have had a bit of a red card problem overall, Tigres. Whipped in delivery towards the post. Good defending. Pizarro. Difficult angle for a defender to just get to that ball. It was whipped in delivery.
Yeah, you're right, Kev. He's just trying to, because they made that space on the 6-yard box, so they're trying to put it in there with that sweet left foot with a bit of pace. Not only to get his head on it, but to clear it away from danger.
Right for the delivery this time from Mesa. Outswinger. And it's going to be a goal kick. Medina was the one trying to challenge for it. A piece of defending from Gignac. We've had flashes in this Clásico Regio so far, but the biggest moment, Nico Lopez's 30-yard effort off the underside of the woodwork. Now they're starting well. Tigres have responded. So far, no goals at Estadio BBVA. Córdoba. Went for the return, but had already impeded the progress of Edson Gutierrez, so a free kick for Monterrey.
I think he's done well though, Córdoba, in that position. You've seen him play wide, but he's using that energy and that anticipation to try and get involved in the game. Maybe the referee looking for a foul, but I've liked his attitude. He's persevering. I think he's got real quality as well going forward.
Roma again, they're caught in possession. Córdoba. Last time Roma picked up the yellow, this time it's he who gets caught, and he lost it again to Córdoba. Lopez.
Switch it now.
That's exactly what he's done to Quiñones. Gignac menacing movement towards the edge of the penalty area. Here is Gignac. Lopez. It's a lazy effort to knock that ball out wide. And now the break going the other way. Reales have numbers. Mesa. A lot of ask there for Edson Gutierrez, and I'm not quite sure why Gutierrez even tries to challenge on that one.
I think he's trying to show the fans that he's involved and going to put his foot in, but he has to be careful. He could have quite easily picked up a yellow card going into there. Maxi Mesa just giving him too much to do. That's where I think they've been poor, Keith, when they have won the ball. Monterrey, that penetrating pass, or that weighted pass, or that responsibility really on the ball has not been at the highest level. Where you look at Tigres, when they've got going forward, they look really dangerous.
Angulu looked up as if like, why on earth was I challenged there? He thought he was just routinely going to get the ball for the throw-in. Really have been scrappy since that bright beginning, Rayados.
Well, a lot of that is frustration because they can't figure out how to get into the game. They don't know whether to pass it in midfield, and when they do pass it in midfield, they're taking too long. As I said to you before, 6-7 minutes ago, you've got two physical strikers. I'm not saying go long, but you can go into their chest, into their feet if you can. Go bypass the midfield because Tigres are trying to squeeze. Just bypass and read the second ball. We've got to get people like Maxi Macy involved in the game because the game just... Oh.
A little flick, the goalkeeper comes out, he's in no man's land and somehow it's off the line. What a clearance that is. It looked destined for the bottom corner, but Vegas at full stretch just got his left foot to it and kept it out of the Rayados goal. Herrera cannot believe his side haven't taken the lead.
Yeah, I think that look says it all. You know, when he's gone through, all you've got to do is put it into net. It's far too easy. One simple ball, they hesitate, and he's there, and he's just trying to poke it past him. But excellent play by the Chilean to get back and wipe it out of there. But he's got to score. You've got to just, I know it's difficult, but get enough poke on the ball to put it into an empty net. The goalkeeper hesitated. Centre-half got caught underneath the ball.
Set piece towards Gignac, edge of the penalty area, Quiñones. Quiñones just trying to turn. You want to keep that one in play. It looked like it might have gone out. Yeah, indeed it did. Medina making sure the assistant referee was going to give that decision.
And Keefe was right. I think the first 5-10 minutes Monterrey have done well, but since then it's been Tigres. And now I'm just thinking poke it a little bit harder, a little bit more, be a bit more braver, because he hesitated, the keeper, but he never. His defender got him out of trouble, coming back, clearing it off the line. Excellent defending. It'd be so easy for a defender to stop and wait for your goalkeeper to clear it out. He obviously didn't. Tigres are the ones that have really been dangerous. Really encouraged by the way they was coming. I thought they'd come here and just try and grind a result out, but they've come here to win and to play.
They're coming forward again. Aquino, you know where he's going, back on that right foot, cross towards the far post. Vegas heads this one clear. Bertarami can't get it further clear. And that, well, you better hope it's a foul, because the handball came before the referee's whistle, but it is a yellow card for Nico Lopez, impeding the attempt of a counter-attack from Monterrey. Well, Celso Ortiz is back.
Yeah, good to see him.
You hadn't noticed.
Good to see him back, and they need him in this game at the moment, because they need to fight their way out of the trouble, and he's someone that can do that in midfield.
Medina, Bertarami, good pressure on him again.
But again, taking too long. Pass the ball quicker. You come into space, you're not going to... This is a derby. You're not going to have 3 or 4 seconds on the ball. You've got to pass the ball and move, and they can't... If you pass it and move, no matter how quick they are and closing down, they won't be able to get near you.
Here he is again in possession. Does try and play a little bit quicker, so heeding your advice.
But you know that pressure's coming. You know you want, particularly in that midfield, they're going to close you down. So you want to either flick it around the corner and get the next ball, or you've got to get it and play and move combinations. You can't stand on the ball and try and physically make sure that you can shield the ball away from people. People are going to go through you.
There he goes, Bertarami, little flick, and that's going to be easy for Nahuel Guzman. I just wonder if that continues, Warren, whether they look to a different kind of player in the middle of that area. Rodolfo Pizarro immediately jumps out as someone who can get on and move it quickly.
They might be better as well, Keith, to go 3 in midfield. They might be better to go 3 in there with Pizarro to make that 3, because you can see their balance with what they have at the moment. They're sort of outnumbering them. But see, your fullback now, Vegas, should be pushing up. But because he's not a natural fullback, he sits there. He's done well to get out of that, actually, well placed there. But he...
I think he motivated him there with those
you
words.
want him to move,
challenge.
but he's
and Oromo shaking his hand, saying no, no, no.
And this is what they're asking for. Every tackle is they're gonna say whoever's been booked.
It's on a yellow, and this was a strong challenge. Interesting to see on the replay.
It's late, Keith.
Yep.
It's late, isn't it? I mean, you have seen them get. That would be a yellow card, maybe normally.
One thing that might have saved Roma there is the fact that the angle for the referee wasn't really conducive to a good view of it. It's not a red card offence, so not reviewable, yeah. The atmosphere electric inside the Estadio BBVA, but no goals as of yet for either side. Tigres again looking to press. They've had success with this. And this time, Monterrey do bypass it, and Aguirre does exactly what you said, takes it on the chest.
And now you're playing a net ball. Now it should be, and that's where. Listen to the fans now. They've just lost their way. They need half-time. They need to get the coach, who's experienced, 67 years of age, just sit down, breathe for a second, because you're just trying to play too quickly, too energetic, and you keep giving the ball away, and then you're going to get groans, and then you're going to lose some confidence. Get in together, because this team are not going to give you anything. Tigres are not a team that are going to fold up.
Quinones.
Best I've seen him play so far this season.
Hasn't he, from that left?
And he's been disciplined, he's looked sharp. He can be one of them players that can be breathtaking, and then he can give you a headache as well.
No space for him to come forward. See that too often.
We've done it again. Every time we do it.
Well, you claim that Vegas couldn't play at left back. He beat 3 and got the ball forward. And
yeah, we've got. They're going to get rid of us too. What do we know?
Excuse me, they were both your comments. So.
Oh, that just tells me what you're like. I'm okay, Jack. I'm all right. Look after yourself.
Yeah, I win, we lose. I was that kind of teammate. There's Angulo again. Pizarro. Not a great first touch, but gets it across to Aquino. No real challenge there from Gignac. Have a minimum of 3 additional minutes here.
It's funny, because he hasn't really done anything in the game, but you know he's got something out of nothing. You know, just his presence, he has an aura about him when he plays. There's something that could happen.
Aguirre. All action from him so far, including picking up a yellow card.
I had one player that worked hard, Jensen, the Dutch international, that didn't quite go to plan at this club. But this guy looks a different proposition, but he's having one of them 45 minutes where the harder he tries, the worse it gets. So he just needs to cool down, just get yourself together. Roma has to be careful in midfield, because that's the second challenge that he's had. I mean, the referees probably feels, let me get the half-time as well, because this is a high-ish foot.
By the way, for those fans of Vincent Janssen, no longer in Liga MX, he's moved on to Royal Antwerp. It's quite a change, isn't it?
Might be his level, actually.
I don't think it was 91 degrees there today.
Yeah, if it gets 91 there. Oh, well played.
Nice bit of skill from Mesa. Comes inside. Quiet first half, but can he liven things up here? Finds Gutierrez.
Go round him. Make some movement. You know, that's where they're lacking now. You know, they've got into areas and might get
caught. Give and go. Yeah, I think they will.
But if you just do that, you know, I'm not saying that you've got to be Dani Alves or anything like that, but if you just that little give and go, you might create a little bit of space, and this might be their best avenue to get a goal, a set piece. Because first few minutes they haven't. They have got people who will attack it, and hopefully with Gonzalez got someone that can pull it into an area. Beat the first man, give your teammate a chance.
In swinging left-footed delivery, Guzman gets a punch to it. And we'll stay with Reales. They'll have to take this one quickly, though. Winding down the final few seconds of stoppage time. Well, they feel they have enough time to allow Vegas to come across and take the long throw in towards that near post area. Good header clear from Pizarro.
He's been excellent, Pizarro in midfield. Oof, what a checker that is.
And he's got his own teammate making the challenge. Medina really strong to come out there. He only had eyes on the ball.
And there's Ortiz as well. He's had a dreadful time, but good goalkeeping in the end. He was a little bit scrambled, but he'd done enough just to push it away from danger. And this is it. Both players have got eyes for the ball, but say something if you're coming.
Poor old Celso Ortiz needs that 15 minutes at half-time.
put him in an ice bath. He'll be fine, but it was going well. But at the moment, I think Tigres will be delighted going in at half-time. They'll be the ones that are saying this is there for the taking, and Monterrey got big 15 minutes ahead with that team talk.
Yeah, no goals after 45 minutes at Estadio BBVA. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back to recap all of the first half action and get you set for the second half as well. No goals after 45 minutes. Welcome back to Nuevo León. The Estadio BBVA is the venue today. Rayados taking on Tigres in the crosstown rivalry matchup, and well, that scene, maybe the best scene we've seen so far today, because on the field it's been a battle, Warren, but no goals as of yet for either side. Who's the happier at half-time?
Oh, no doubt, Tigres. I think they've had, tactically they've been much better once they got the 7 or 8 minutes out their way, and as you would expect, being the home team, Monterrey, they was on the front foot, they was causing 1 or 2 problems, but as I said, for Tigres, with the experience they've got on the bench, with the coach and the experience they got on the field, they were able to grind out, keep the crowd quiet and start dominating a little bit of possession as well. So I thought they've done a very good job. It'd be interesting with Monterrey if they can start high tempo again. Can they start with a bit more energy? Can you get people like Maxi Mesa on the ball to start influencing the game?
Yeah, that's been an issue, and you wonder how long they'll go in the second half, Warren, if things continue in that trend that we saw towards the end of the second half. That man's on a yellow card as well.
And Romo had a couple of tackles and quite fortunate not to have a red card. He's already picked up. So 2 physical players that have been in the referee's notebook, and again, that's part of their game of being physical. But I think for Monterrey, they have to be a lot more courageous going forward. They've got to be braver on the ball, and as we've said, they've got to be quicker with their decision making and passing of the ball. They're taking too long. This is a derby. You know, you win this game, you go top of the league. That's what's at stake. Not only is it local pride, but you end up being top of the league.
Well, sometimes the big rivalry matchups need to be endured as a player rather than enjoyed. Doesn't matter how you win them, you just want to win them. No goals as of yet in this one, and remember the small matter of top of the table at stake. Toluca, who are sitting in that position right now, don't play until tomorrow. They may be favoured against San Luis, but at least for tonight in the city, if you win, you can go out knowing you are number 1. We had an interesting halftime show here in the Estadio BBVA. Not quite Super Bowl level, but I think you can get the idea as Monterrey kick things off to start the second half. Fernando Guerrero Ramirez blowing his whistle. More like tryouts for Super Bowl, I think, would have been the best way of putting the halftime show.
I just wonder if Monterrey have gone 3 in midfield and gone 3 up front and leaving 2 wide players to go wide, and maybe Romo's pushed up a little bit more because Gonzalez tucked in a little bit more in that midfield area just to try and combat what Tigres have been doing, just to match up with them. So that's great credit to Tigres, the away team, that Monterrey have had to change their style slightly.
Bertarami a little bit quicker there, getting the ball off his feet. And as he won a free kick here, he went down after he played the pass. When we built him up before then, he's really had a good start to his career at Rayados, but his very first Clásico Regio, so far he's been a bit anonymous.
I do like him though, Keith. He's strong, he's powerful, the Argentinian. He obviously scores goals and he's direct, and it won't take him too long before he gets out. There've been glimpses. We did it when he was with Leon. I thought he was brilliant in that performance. He was aggressive, he was quick on the ball, he was really wanting to be the main man, so he's got it in his locker. But sometimes the occasion, and once you go in at half-time, you can just focus a little bit more, and it does become a game now that you're comfortable playing. At the beginning, everything's new, everything's a bit apprehensive, but just you can breathe a little bit easier now.
Whipped in delivery towards the far post. Nahuel Guzman, really good goalkeeping from the veteran. Trying to launch the counter as well, Quiñones. Cordova's been a bit of a live wire as well for Tigres so far, finding pockets of space.
I think they've managed the game really well. You know, the instance there, they didn't give the ball away. They looked bright with a counter-attack. It wasn't on, so they've kept it. And now they end up getting good possession far up the field. It comes from him, the captain. I think he's been excellent as well, talking to his team, being involved with the referee. He's a good presence, good manner in the game.
Aquino was central, comes back out wide, Angulo.
You know, look how high their wing-backs go. So as a full-back, I don't know whether to get Berami to come back, and now I go out, and that's where the space is in behind. What you should be doing is shuffling across a little bit and closing that line off.
Celso Ortiz under pressure. He was in the wars in the first half, and what was the contact there off the ball? Monterrey man stares down. It's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, Berami got one right in the face there as he's tried to come across. I don't know whether it was Reyes that put his foot up a little bit high, but he's lucky not to end up in the referee's notebook as it comes across. This is the goalkeeping. Look at him. And he's got to be good with hair like that. He's got to be able to come out and get the ball.
I've seen some of your hairstyles when you played.
Oh, never like that. It was never outrageous like that.
Aguirre was the player who went out. You were close on a couple of occasions.
My mum would have killed me if I walked in the house like that. She would have locked the door, old mum.
The old saying goes, if you're going to look like that, you better be good.
Yeah, you better be good. It's like wearing white cleats. You better be able to play if you're wearing them.
One ball forward looking for Aguirre. Again, he'll battle for every one of those. Second ball, and the free kick goes against, I think it might have been Berami on the second challenge rather than Aguirre on winning the first.
Yeah, I think he just tried to ease him out of it. But they've had their best joy, Keith, really, when it's been a direct ball, flicking it up, second balls. They're just trying to ease him out on the back there and trying to get the balls. And I know it's not vintage soccer, I know it's not ideal, but it can just be enough to get you in the game. Then you can start playing your soccer in the final third. Their drop off, then you can create some space in midfield. But if you keep trying to go into midfield, they keep closing you down.
Central now comes out to this left-hand side, and that ball bringing back Aquino, but he does well. Pizarro.
But their shape's much better. I mean, it stretches you. You know, look at their four now, Monterrey. He doesn't know whether to go out. They're coming in midfield. They've really got this system off well. If you can get it going through at the back, it's really hard to play against. Because now look at the space he's got.
Played out wide towards Quiñones. Aquino on the overlap. Quiñones left-footed cross, full stretch defensively, and that was an awkward one for Romo. That's to knock it behind for the corner.
And that's the problem. He's getting a great tactics to Herrera. They're overlapping on the wide areas, both, whether it's right or left. Neither midfield player wants to come out. Neither wide player want to come out and track back, and you either play the combination, get into the byline, or you can whip it in from an area where the fullback has to back off and put the ball into dangerous areas. This time it ends up being the corner.
Corner of that. Asking for a change of shape in there, pushing players, I think, a little bit closer to the goalkeeper. Crowded 6-yard box. Whipped in outside of the 6-yard box and cleared by Berami, and a long-range hit well over and well wide as well by Quiñones. That fan wasn't impressed.
He said, I've seen that before. I mean, on his left foot he might have a chance, but there'll be one thing, Sam, well, at least they didn't break on the counter-attack, because that's ended up in row Z. I don't know why they're showing a replay of that. I mean, why on earth would you want to see that?
I think it was the
No, you don't say it was the ground or it bounced up in front of you or the sun was in your eyes. You just miskicked it.
I think that's doing miskicks a disservice. That was so far wide. Moreno.
What a bad man.
Berami, good challenge in the air again.
Give it to him again.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of space that time. Really did well to win the initial one. Loroña, the wing back, hasn't got forward, but he's done his defensive work really well.
But he's given them an outlet. You know, he hasn't, as a wing back, gone forward as I said to you before, like a Dani Alves or Roberto Carlos pushing up. But he's been an outlet. And he's kept the ball nice and secure and safe. But they're definitely trying to hit that diagonal ball into him and maybe get the second ball, Monterrey.
Medina, lovely outlet ball for Gutierrez. Rodrigo Aguirre holding the ball up, looking for a little flick in behind for Gutierrez. Cordova.
Good play.
And he gets a little bit of a push in the back, and that's a frustrating one because Cordova really wasn't going anywhere, so he just almost just enticed Celso Ortiz into making that challenge.
Well, Ortiz has gone for it there. He's sucked him in, he's brought him in, and just you let him out of jail now, because you're right, Keith, he's not going anywhere, but because of the footwork and the trickery, it sort of antagonises Ortiz to come in and close him down, and that looked, you know, are you going to give him a card for that, or is he just allowed to foul me? Such a good player.
A couple of raised eyebrows when he came to Tigres rather than move away from Liga MX after his time at Club America.
Keith, don't you think that's changing now? We've seen a lot of American players, obviously young players going to Europe. I think you're starting to see maybe the Mexican players that getting out their comfort zone. That's only going to help the national team as well, going into different clubs and different environments.
I think the Liga MX president, Mr. Ariola, had made those comments, hadn't he? He was worried about being left behind. I've seen a number of Liga MX players. Jorge Sanchez from Club America being one, moving to Ajax.
One at my old club as well.
Yes. Santos continue to develop young players, don't they?
And they give them a chance, Keith. That's the one thing. Not only do they develop the young players, they actually put them in the game and put them in that environment to play. You know, it's okay having young players, but if you're not going to play them, then don't have it. There's no point.
Mesa trying to knock it one side and go the other. Nahuel Guzman really comfortable playing out. That's good play from Tigres. Lopez, and he looks across, wondering why Loroña hadn't continued the run.
I think he got blocked off as well slightly from Vegas, but just shows you there how comfortable they are. Guzman passes it in midfield, go to the fullback, little combination to get out. Okay, they've never had any success, but they're quite happy to pass it out the back because Monterrey are not closing down as they would at the beginning when we see both fullbacks, high press, midfield players going man for man. Because of the tactics of Tigres, that they've run the energy and the idea out of Monterrey's players in midfield and the forward areas.
And a scrappy beginning to this second half, 9 minutes in.
And it doesn't suit Monterrey, a scrappy game. It doesn't suit them at all. They're better when it's high press, energy, combination play, hurting teams. This doesn't suit them.
Free kick, and that was going nowhere in particular, and perhaps needlessly knocked out by Lichnowsky. Gignac looking around, saying, why on earth did we let that one run out?
They're the difference sometimes where you just give him a shout, tell him to leave it. He's not sure what's around. The first thing he does is look at Guzman, the keeper, for a bit of information. But as I said, with Monterrey, these may be the best areas, their best opportunity, because by and large they haven't created too many opportunities playing their soccer.
Monchito Gonzalez whipped in delivery with his left towards the far post. I said whipped in, it was more lofted, wasn't it? Nahuel Guzman, nice outlet throw to find Quiñones. Quiñones' forward progress is stalled, but he still manages to keep possession.
And that's the key thing, they've kept possession. You know, maybe everyone should say hit the diagonal, but it's such a risky ball. You're giving it away. Now you've got good possession, you've got your shape. Here, come and get it in midfield. Here, start pulling the strings again, and then you're in a very good position.
It's really good football. Nico Lopez, ball out wide. Loroña now getting forward, trying to get that cross in, and cleared as far as Lopez again.
That's one thing, Loroña, on that right-hand side that's let him down, Keith. We see him at Cholos and coming through there and playing well, but it was that final delivery. He gets in good positions, but never really had that quality, not like this fella.
A lovely little turn the other way. Little chip towards the far post corner. And Gignac, I don't know if he's mad at the cross or his teammates for not attacking that space.
Well, he has to. If he's the only striker, he's got to go near post. So he's having a look at Lopez to try and go round the back, because as the only striker, that's the first look you're going to go near post.
First goal in this game will just tell us the direction we go in. Monterrey, well, they seem to have cured some of the issues they had towards the end of the first half in terms of Tigres' domination, but they haven't cured their own attacking issues.
Well, Monterrey, if anyway, they've slowed it down. They've made it more of a slower game. Now, this lot want to play a little bit more quicker, incisive soccer.
Corner the back. Gignac making the run out wide. Corner the back. Finds Gignac into the penalty area. And it's a cheap giveaway. I haven't seen much of Gignac today, but that wasn't good play from the veteran striker.
Well, he changed his mind. He should have gone far post, and then he changed his mind and give it away.
Mesa, long range hit. Nahuel Guzman. Well, he gets it in at the second attempt. Didn't look comfortable with the first hit. It was moving from Panchito Gonzalez. And luckily for Guzman, no one really following in on that effort.
Made a bit of a hash. He's got a good view of it. It opens up, and you know with this kid with his sweet left foot and how he's playing at the moment, there is some curve, some dip, but he feels more confident just to push it away rather than trying to catch it. And he just said he made a bit of a hash of it, but second time round he gets it. He has that presence of mind to come out and clear the ball.
There's a different view of that hairstyle. It didn't get any better from that angle.
The only way to get better if you turn the lights on or cut it off. One of two.
Not quite yet. Let's finish this one first. Ball played in behind. Aguirre trying to challenge for it. One thing is for sure, those Tigres defenders will know they've been in a battle coming up against Rodrigo Aguirre.
You can sense it, Keith. You know, when the ball goes over top, they're thinking, here he comes, he's going to close them down, and maybe Pizarro's coming on now, and maybe
Gallardo as well.
Gallardo will come on, yeah. They need a little bit of life, you know. They need a little bit of security. They don't want to lose the game, you know. That's put that right out there, because as you said, the bragging right. So you don't want to lose it, but you want to try and influence the game with a bit more energy and purpose with personnel, because the ones at the moment for the first hour haven't really done it.
Aguirre, nice little ball. He's looking for the return. Curled effort, couple of yards wide. Aguirre wanted that one playing back to him, but it was his initial play that opened things up. Maxi Mesa on his right foot decided to go for goal and was just a couple of yards away from opening the scoring.
Well, there's little glimpses what he'd done. And I think it was hard for him to try and slide the ball into his partner, so in the end he's just tried to curl it in there and took a little bit of a deflection, so it might have been a better opportunity, a better decision that he made.
And the home fans have come to life again as well.
Well, they're just starting to chip away. I wouldn't say it's like pressure, but they're just starting to ask a few more questions than they did in the first half.
Whipped in delivery, flicked away, and now Quiñones could launch the counter.
Oh, look at him getting back. Look at the pace.
Looks like he's carrying a knock as he's trying to run through there. He goes back for Lopez. Pizarro, and the holding midfielder trying to drive forward. Gignac, little chip towards the far post. Flag stays down for now, and yeah, the flag does go up. It would have been offside anyway, but Quiñones wasn't to know that. Lovely little reverse ball from Gignac to find him, but it did look like he was a couple of yards offside. Yeah, and Lopez is going to come. I thought on that last run, Warren, it looked like he was carrying a knock. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I didn't want to make that run in behind.
I don't know whether it was a little bit of cramp fatigue. It looks like it, rather than an actual injury, hopefully. But he put a good shift in. He obviously had that wonderful effort in the first half. So they're going to make some subs, and I think obviously for Monterrey, the home team, they're going to make some changes as well.
Raimundo Fulgencio is the player coming on. Oh, he came closest twice, didn't he?
Yep.
Struck the woodwork, struck the crossbar, then the post, and then he had one cleared off the line as well. So on another day, Nico Lopez could have had a hat-trick. Gallardo coming on for Vegas, so this is an attacking move.
Well, took both midfield players off, if you like. Just, I wouldn't say both holding midfield players, but I would understand this gentleman with the Roma with the yellow card. Ortiz, I'm not so sure about, because it leaves him a little bit vulnerable in that midfield area for the counter-attack. So Pizarro, if he does slide in there, is going to have to be more disciplined than he normally is. You know, he is a player that plays with energy and plays with purpose and gets around the field, but if he leaves big gaps everywhere, it's a surprise, Keith, because they have got a like for like in midfield, haven't they? They can go for a holding midfield player if they want to, but
chance on the overlap here from Aguirre. That looked like a push from Angulo.
Yeah, it's a push, got to be. You can't question his effort and commitment, can you? I know it's not maybe been his ideal 62 minutes, but he's shown glimpses what he can do, and there's enough as an ex-player or a coach can look at him and say, Get him going and he can be a real menace in this league.
Rodolfo Pizarro is on now. An interesting one, Warren, because he came to Major League Soccer. It didn't work out for him, but it was a difficult period at a club that was struggling at the time in Inter Miami. And well, Monterrey in the second spell hasn't gone according to plan either. Not yet, anyway.
No, there's no doubt about his talent, and when he's good, he's energetic. And you're right, when he comes to MLS, the team that he was with obviously wasn't, doing great and playing maybe the way he wanted to do. It's different now, the way that Inter Miami have got themselves together a little bit. He has got a personality, and he has got an energy about him, and a personality and a presence about him as well.
Whipped in delivery towards the near post. Good defending from Cordova, but it wasn't a good ball in by Conchita Gonzalez. We'll see Gallardo that's going to cross to that left-hand side. Mexican international. He's played left back, and well, under Javier Aguirre, he played a little bit more at left midfield, didn't he?
I think they might have gone three at the back as well. Monterrey try and match up a little bit as well.
That one's a cheap giveaway. And Tigres take advantage of this one. They really can, and they just like that bit of pace in behind when they win the ball.
They're okay when it's in the final third, but when they win it on the halfway line, they haven't. You're right, kid. They haven't got that explosive pace to go in behind, that willingness to do it, or someone that's got the pace.
Gallardo. Pizarro trying to get just a feel for the game alongside that man, Celso Ortiz. Back to Pizarro.
Ortiz is there, sorry, my man.
Well, Vegas is the one that was replaced. A more natural attacking fullback in Gallardo. Then they're going to win another free kick here, and you can argue they have shaded it in terms of territory in the second half, Monterrey, without really being explosive.
Yeah, as I said, they're the ones that have been chipping away and got a bit of a more desire going forward. I don't know whether Tigres now in the back of their mind are thinking, right, to come here and keep a clean sheet, and maybe that's invited Monterrey to be a bit more progressive going forward. But there's definitely been a switch from the first half to now.
Over the free kick. Well, touched by Gonzalez, Maxi Mesa. There's ball out wide for Gutierrez. Gutierrez looking for the return. I don't think it was on. No.
We'll tell him to keep it though. As a player, you pass it to him, you can see it. Gutierrez can see the whole picture. Tell him to keep it.
Fulgencio takes that throw in quickly to Cordova. Cordova on the second ball. And he's on the next one as well. Bit of miscommunication between the two Rayadas midfielders. Gignac mentioned his goal-scoring form returning in the Clausura. He got 11 goals. He was the top scorer, but really been on the periphery of this game.
But you know as well as I do, he only needs half a chance, not even a full chance.
Yeah, I'm writing the script for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball pulled back, cross in towards Gignac, but that's good defending and a good clearance. Stefan Medina. He is an absolute legend in these parts. Victor Manuel Vucetic. I say don't go back, he has, and well, so far so good this season.
I think what's really impressed me is, well, two things. His style of football, the way that he's been able to get these players, not today, because it's a derby and sometimes form and ability goes out the window and everything matches up. But it's also the way he's been able to manage people and share the appearances around and leave people out so they're fresh, because he knows that they're going to need the whole of this roster to go forward.
Loroña throwing towards Quiñones. Acrobatic with the delivery. Shot on target.
There's your man.
First real sniff at goal for Gignac, and applauded by his coach. Right at the goalkeeper, but well, you do lose a little bit of pace when you get older, but speed of thought is still there for Gignac.
He's never had to rely on it. His pace is in his head, and he's the first one to anticipate to come forward. By his standards, he'd be disappointed he didn't score. He thinks he should put that. If he gets in front of the defender, he thinks he should score.
And that's brought Tigres back to life here. Midway through the second half, and now they start to come forward a little bit like they did in the first half. Gignac will flick back for Aquino. Runs into two, and Gutierrez. A real battle with Aquino. Gignac. Still Gignac. He'll do well to get something from this. He's done more than that. A good cross in.
He was trying to get a corner. That's what he was trying to do. Don't let it bounce. You're in trouble now.
And the goalkeeper's out. And Guzman. Well, the confidence is there. We already know that one now, Will Guzman. That was a good piece of goalkeeping. Not a good piece of playing out of the back.
They've just a little bit rattled Tigres at the moment. You know, this is again another good effort. Now I always say, once you get in front of the defender, you've got a chance of scoring. Even by his standards, he thinks he should at least get it in the back of the net, even with someone in front of him. I think that look says it all.
Some atmosphere inside the Estadio BBVA.
Well, the longer it goes on like this, the more people are getting anxious, they're getting nervous, because you know it's a mistake away. It's a bit of brilliance away from being a hero, you know, to get the winning goal, to score the goal. And this is all coming into the players' minds and the coaches' minds as well.
You don't book your table on a night like this, do you, just in case?
No.
The plans are open. Win, you go out and you celebrate. Lose,
Get in your car,
you go home and shut the door.
Yeah. Turn the lights off.
And hope your neighbours don't see you. Well, Guzman been good defensively so far this season. Tigres has 6 conceded in their 8 games. They only scored 11. Monterrey 20 goals already. And if they played against that Leon backline every week, they'd have about 60.
Yeah, I think you'd learn your lesson after the 4th goal.
Quiñones. They didn't, by the way. They lost the next game 3-0.
Yeah.
Quiñones. Pizarro. He's trying to drive forward into 3 players, and it's just been a real battle in midfield.
But it's been one of them games. It's a derby, Keith. It's a local game. Bragging rights, form, everything else goes out the window. You've got to earn the right. This has been building up for, well, since the start of the season. When it comes out, all the fans are looking at this.
Retaname gets it on his left foot, takes a deflection, falls Kylie, Noel Guzman all over the place, and Monterrey take full advantage. Maxi Mesa the quickest to react, and Clásico Regio has its first goal, and it goes to the hosts.
Well, I said he's been quiet and he just needs to do a little bit of magic, and when it comes to him, he's thought in his mind, just hit the target. Get the shot on target. You're not trying to pick a corner, you're not trying to be too clever, dink the goalkeeper. All you're hoping at this time is hit the target. You're right, Keith, they get a little bit fortunate with the ricochet. Fortune favours the brave. It might come back, because it might look at him being offside, involved in it. But he doesn't know, Mason. Once it falls down to him, he's just thinking, get it back on target. Guzman is throwing himself all over the place trying to save the goal. He gets back up again from the initial shot. There's Mesa tucking it away. Hits him. And just his momentum going away. And as he's turning, Mesa's just thinking, hit the target. They're obviously going to be looking at this.
Yeah,
they
but
do
Conchita Gonzalez, I think, was the one right in the middle, whether he was offside. Oof.
He looks offside there, but does it hit the defender first? Does it slide off a defender, then hits him?
And if the defender makes a legitimate act to try and play the ball...
Yeah, he's obviously trying to block it as a defender. You're trying to block it.
This is the moment when you say, who on earth would want to be a referee? And a lot easier if you're in the video assistant review room.
Because you're normally about 200 miles away.
Well, Fernando Guerrero Ramirez is getting the information.
always think, though, Keith, we should be, we're looking at this. It should just come up on a monitor, they're looking at the offside. This is what we're looking at. We can see it, but the fans don't. They're celebrating. They're not sure what's going on.
And we don't want to. We want to toe that line of getting the right call, but not taking the emotion of these big moments out of the game. It is a big moment.
We want to get it right, and it is a huge moment in the season, and they're obviously taking their time, and rightly so, because it's such a crucial moment. But there should be a time limit to this. There should be something, but all the talking to the referee, all the talking to someone, he can't, he's not making the decision. He's not in the VAR booth.
Maybe he's making his reservations for tonight, or cancelling them.
Make that
table for two, please.
Yeah, make that table for one. But just with Mata, where he's coming onto the ball, he's just thinking, he's not had as I said, the most vintage of game, and as it bounced back, he's gone for it there. So he's made the attempt to block it. Then it hits Gonzalez and feels kindly now for Mata as he reacts. So do they look at that? Was it a genuine attempt to block the ball? And from my opinion, it would be yes. When the initial shots played, he's made himself to go out. It was actually offside from the original shot. Is he making an attempt to get the ball? That's going to be all these questions that are being answered.
It's offside.
I think from the original.
He didn't need to go and look. But Gonzalez did his very best to just act like he wasn't even in the picture. Stood still, tried to walk away, but you can see why that goal has been pulled back. Very difficult to say he hasn't played a part. But it was close.
Well, I think from the initial shot, and he's right in the middle of the goal, the goalkeeper's trying to look, and then it hits him, and then it's part of him.
Taken nicely by Maxi Mesa, but a goal that won't show in the years to come in the record books. Remains scoreless into the final 15. Aquino looks in real pain here. Holding his right leg. Just the way he landed there on him, yes, Monterrey.
Just the coming together and the full weight of him coming on top of him. I mean, it's been a physical game. I wouldn't say it's been a spiteful game or a dirty game at all. I think the referees, by a large part, has tried to handle the game as well as he possibly can. Can't do a lot about the VAR call with decisions there. And the players, to an extent, yes, they run over now and again and ask for a card here and there, but there's not really been that intent to really so far go and put one over your teammates or ex-teammates, whoever it may be, or opposition.
These two coaches love it as well, don't they? They are two of the premier coaches of Liga MX throughout the last couple of decades, and
he just has a calmness about him, where
I think he was drawing an escape route if they don't get a victory.
He's just looking which table to go for. Again, it's what restaurant we're going to go to. Is it the top one, or should we go to a local one?
If we lose, there's an exit over here.
Yeah.
I did like the mannerisms of the referee. Held it quite well, didn't he? Fernando Guerrero Ramirez. I always thought once we got VAR warning that players would say, well, look, they're going to handle it, we'll walk away and let them do it, but they don't. They still talk to the referee.
I do feel though players should be involved, ex-players in the booth, just to give their opinion. I don't think that would harm anyone or put anyone against what's going on.
I don't know how I feel about you in the booth for Newcastle Liverpool. That's all I'm going to say.
He used to be on the panel for red cards and yellow cards as well for the FA, so there you go.
You do get everywhere, don't you? Nice going down there after a little challenge from Diego Reyes.
Yeah, the game at the moment is just lost its way with that break that we had with the VAR. It just took a little bit of the sting out of the game. That hold on to your hats for the next 14, 15 minutes, because you'd expect there's going to be someone pushing forward to try and win this game and be a hero.
Córdoba. Quiñones more central now, and he's given that one away. Bertarami. Good ball central.
Now go out.
All played out wide. Good run by Conchita Gonzalez. Pizarro. Did that one take a deflection? Coming in on that right foot. It opened up for Rodolfo Pizarro.
But always going to come back onto his right foot, always, and they knew that. Reyes slid over, they got people around, so if he was going to get a shot, it was going to be contested, so they made sure if he was going to shift inside. I said about the conditions with the heat, humidity, and a bit of fatigue coming in.
Diego Reyes, former American man. Cramp on that left leg.
He's had a good game as well.
Well, they've been strong defensively, haven't they, Tigres?
Yeah, they've had a good shape, a good discipline about them. They've kept their communication well.
And a change in coming here for El Piojo. Eduardo Tercero was one of the players up. Down as well. Yeah, easy. Calling for the change.
It's not ideal as well, though, Keith, from a set piece. You don't really want to be making too many changes. If I've right, as I just say, just stay on for this. Just see this one out. It's cramped. Just get on with it for a second.
Córdoba going across just to check in as well. Right up at the top of that left leg, so some might be worried there might be a hamstring issue as well. Yep, Eduardo Tercero is the man who does come on. Delivery in, and Tercero is the man to get the head to it. Second attempt for Monterrey, and that one's cleared as well. Chance to get across, and Bertarami looking for the flick. Perhaps looking for that big moment. We're seeing two sides that not much separating both of them, and you can see why they're both towards the top end of the table as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can see defensively strong midfield. Just certain moments then, but the occasion was too much. They get into good areas, and Pizarro there trying a real difficult ball and trying to be too spectacular.
Chance to whip that one in corner. Good delivery, and that one could have gone anywhere. It was a deflection. I think it came off Celso Ortiz, who dropped back in. Moreno.
He's not comfortable in the game. They're on his back a little bit, and he looks nervous as a Mexican international. I know his experience, but it's groans and moans, and this is not the first time it's happened to him. And he can't handle it at the moment. He's miss-kicking the ball, slicing the ball, and he looks vulnerable at the moment. He wants it behind. He wanted it there. Just pass the ball earlier. They keep over-embellishing it in midfield. Just keep the game simple. Just move the ball. There's another time. Just do it. I mean, you're just playing into their hands.
Right on cue, just giving it away. Yeah, Pizarro on the initial one.
Yeah, just play.
Twist and turns and into trouble. Quiñones a little bit more direct. That looked like a foul off the ball. And the referee right on top of that. And free kick for Tigres.
When you foul someone and then start complaining that the referee got it wrong.
I'll see just how much contact there was here. Not that much more in between Ortiz and Córdoba.
But he's always going to go down. You know, that's any little contact. You're trying to run him behind. He doesn't really want to run him behind. He's just making a gesture, and Ortiz just helped him out.
Quiñones. And the goalkeeper spills that one. Andrade did not look comfortable there at all. Bertarami, was he fouled? Free kick Monterrey. Aquino, just like Ortiz, the other way, pleading his innocence. So getting a little bit scrappy here over the last couple of minutes again.
He's blocked him off. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that's why Rujovic, the coach, was asking for a yellow card. And again, it's not been a vintage performance by him by a long way, Beltrami, but you've shown glimpses of what he can do, and he's such a powerful striker, a bit of a throwback of how his physical presence is, but also he can manipulate the ball very well. I think there's one chance, don't you? One chance from both teams. Just who's going to be the bravest? Who's going to be the one that can take that chance?
Pizarro. All out wide for Gutierrez. Little touchback for Beltrami. Pizarro on the second one. Gutierrez with the cross towards the far post. Aguirre, he ran through about 3 defenders, and he's taken them all down with him.
He's like a bowling ball, isn't he? He was never going to win it, but he was going to take out at least one of them, or 2 of them. There's one, there's another one.
There you go.
Take you as well.
That is incredible. Nowhere near the ball, and he is on a yellow card as well, so quite reckless too. You certainly know you've been in a battle with Rodrigo Aguirre. Lignovsky, not getting much sympathy from the fans here.
He need a massage. As a trainer, he's been on more times running 50, 60 yards to get across to see if they're okay.
Well, let's hope he doesn't develop cramp with all these runs. So many times in these games, the magnitude of what's on the line, it can fail to deliver the real quality that we want to see, Warren. But in terms of effort and commitment from both sides today, that's been there.
Keep it at the first 8-9 minutes, I think, and this is going to be end-to-end. It's going to be a real boxing match. But Tigres have had their moments, Monterrey have had their moments, and then once it's settled down the game, both of them have nullified each other. In midfield, where Monterrey's second half have been chipping away, got a few more bodies in there, they're not allowed Tigres to get forward. But then Tigres, defensively, have not allowed Monterrey to have any impact in the game. And you're right, you build these occasions up, but it's very rarely they get to it, because the longer the game goes on when it's tight, it's normally if you get a couple of goals early on in the game, then the game opens up and it becomes that sort of occasion. But when it's so tight and so balanced and what's at stake, as I said, you can feel from the players.
Loroña with the cross. Difficult one to deal with defensively, and then had to be knocked out of play.
Well, one, it's difficult because you know someone's breathing down your neck. The second one, it just bounces in front of you.
Medina's been excellent defensively, and now we have another player down with cramp.
Well, I think Medina's been excellent all season. A couple of goals, he's been playing right back, wing back, gone into a centre half, and very versatile in his position again with the coach, understanding of his philosophy, what they do. And again for Tigres, this would be a chance. Do they put everybody in that 6-yard box and overload it and put it right on top of the goalkeeper's head for him to come and deal with it? He's not the best with crosses.
Corner to that. Left foot of delivery from Sebastian Cordova, whipped in towards the near post. Good defensive header. Cordova has a second chance to deliver from a wide area. Fulgencio alongside him. He goes on the overlap. The ball played in, and Pizarro wasn't a great touch, and that allowed the defender to get back in and make the challenge. And now a break the other way. Pizarro and Aguirre going one side. Did the defender win the ball? Ref says no. Corner to pick up a card as well on that challenge.
That's one for the team. You take that all day long, Keith, because they was trying to play on the counter attack, and
they know it near the ball.
That's fine. They can't score from there. But I think we've seen both giants, both great clubs, history, tradition, well coached, good players. They're going to be in and around this at the end of the year with the players. They're going to be one of the favourites to win it.
We've seen a midfielder coming on here, Warren. Perhaps this is Tigres saying we're quite happy with a point.
And rightly so. I think the longer the game's gone on, particularly in the second half, Monterrey have been the team that you think, although they haven't convinced me too much that they're going to score. Again, another change, another player coming on as a holding midfield player as well.
Matthias Kranevitter, who's going to replace Ponchita Gonzalez. So both sides really making a statement of, let's shore things up in the middle of that park.
Well, I think Gonzalez there just trying to break away. He didn't ever run in him anymore. I think he's run himself into the ground, so there was never had that chance. So you're going to... Pizarro now will be the one who can be a bit more adventurous going forward.
Pizarro almost like a natural 10 now.
Yep.
Maxi Mesa. Gutierrez has made a good run, but Mesa comes back inside. Ortiz. Moreno. Gallardo further forward. Nice touch from the Mexican international. Gallardo again out wide. Final couple of minutes here at Estadio BBVA. Clásico Regio. No goals between the sides. Currently second and third place in the Liga MX standings.
Their pressure's excellent. You know, they waited, and then Cordova is the one, he sprinted to Medina. Medina can see him in the corner of his eye, so that's why he's panicked with his header to give it away. And then the fullbacks picked in, and then they picked the ball up. They just wait for a trigger point. That little diagonal ball across the field, he's not going to bring it down, so you put pressure on him.
Played in over
Here we go.
Aguirre, he's going to track this one down. Guzman. Well, he's acting like he was caught there by Aguirre. It was close, wasn't it?
I think if he's not on a yellow card, he goes right through him. I think earlier on in the game, he would have felt he had a chance.
Yeah, that was a rare one, a level of restraint from Rodrigo Aguirre.
And maybe just didn't have the speed to get there.
Touched upon it, Warren, but games like this is why you miss the man who can give you that one magical moment in Rogelio Funes Mori.
In that Keith, there hasn't really been a clear-cut chance, but he can make something from nothing, just like their fella can.
Fulgencio trying to do exactly that for Tigres, but it's good defensive play.
And look how congested they are, the 3 centre-halves, you know, they're petrified of the 2 forwards.
A bit of a hospital ball for Gutierrez, and he decided to continue to go for it, and now he's left a bit of a gap going the other way. Cordova almost got that one through. Gignac was waiting to pounce. Pizarro. Cordova twisting and turning. A good play from him on his left foot. Well, he's been the biggest threat from Tigres this afternoon. Well, that one well wide.
He's had a real mature performance, you know, whether he's having to work hard to track back, whether he's out making something out of nothing, and his energy level's good. That's obviously high and wasteful, but he has that ability in his locker to hit that on target. I've been really impressed. The more I see him, the more he matures, the more he understands the game. But Gutierrez on his right-hand side, he looks really vulnerable. He wasn't happy going forward. You touched on it, Keith. He hesitated, and as soon as you hesitate, he ends up having a shot, not on target, but a shot towards your goal.
Ball Aguirre. Let's head it down towards Bertarame. So that all-action attack from Monterrey has been stifled today. Gutierrez and just barrel his way past two.
Not a lot of...
Bertarame manages to get his cross in. No real attacking threat inside the area, but now they have it. Edge of the penalty area. Aguirre, that one takes a deflection, and Guzman cannot deny the corner.
Woo!
Minimum of 6 minutes.
Hold on to your hats.
Still holding that leg. I understand the one that he felt like there was contact. The goalkeepers are getting cramped. You know it's been a long day.
A little smile says it all. He's just trying to slow it down a little bit, the game. I'm not saying he hasn't got cramp, but I am saying he hasn't got cramp.
Yes, you are. And I think most people would agree with you.
Did he hit off of it as well? Was it a good save? I think he pushed it off. No? Not a corner?
It should have been a corner.
He's played his part, the captain as well, though, you know, motivating his players. And yeah, you've got leaders in this team, but big moments, big players, you need your leader to stand up and Make sure you're organised and switched on, particularly for this set piece.
In towards the yeah, poor delivery, easy for Pizarro. Might get a second attempt here. Well, definitely get another attempt from a set piece, because that's reckless from the captain.
And that's poor as well from him. I've just built him up again. It's the third one we've done.
Another delivery in, the header towards the far post. Guzman comes out, and again he's in no man's land, and appeals that there was contact with one of the Monterrey players. Medina absolutely furious. He did look out of control now, Guzman, when he came off his line.
I mean, that's the initial foul. That's a cheap one to give away, because you've got to get there. And then once the ball's played in...
It was late, wasn't he?
Well, he's not got nowhere near it either. He's cleared the whole lot out.
Moreno's there, and there's the contact. It's not one that's going to be given, but...
No, it's got to be a corner, if not. Again, another one that hasn't looked so convincing with set pieces. Deliveries into the area. I think it was his teammate that got from Guzman, got the full weight of the challenge.
It's just not a decision that goes against a goalkeeper in that kind of situation. However much contact Nahuel Guzman made. It was reckless, though. I'm not sure what he's complaining about. He's got away with one. Overall, though, Warren, this a fair reflection, the scoreline of what we've seen?
Yes, no doubt. I mean, I wouldn't say it's disappointed because it's been a cagey affair. It's been a hard, competitive affair, lacking a little bit of good chances. But I think overall, I think you've seen two teams, as I said, that have been well coached. You know, so much at stake, not only going top of the league, but bragging rights, everything else. And I think that's played into the game as well. Yeah, but I think both of them are going to the training ground tomorrow for a cool down and be pleased with it.
Oh, that's a strong challenge. Kranovita said he's a defensive midfielder. Yellow card. Cynical.
Well, that's one way of introducing yourself into the game, just taking someone out.
Keenan felt the full force of that. It's been a real battle.
It has.
Between two sides that may very well see each other down the road as well.
That's where he's saying he's got to try and put it in that corner. I mean,
somebody can write the name into the record books with a late winner. Corner of the back on the set piece. Is this moment made for an Andre Pierre-Gignac special? Whipped in, the header well off target. Perhaps everybody can just go out and enjoy the city tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's credit to Tigres to come into this environment, full house, against a team that are flying high, particularly at home. Last time they won 5-1, to really come in and play their part of the game. You know, they've not parked the bus, they've not sat back and invited pressure on. They've gone at the home team, they've created chances, they've had balls cleared off the line, they've hit the crossbar.
Audencia, nice ball forward. Gignac, corner of the vote. Audencia, good challenge. Nelson Gutierrez, who's settled in that right-back role in this second half.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced, but it's hard for someone to come in. You touched on it in this part of the game, and as much as he's experienced, he's done his part, and in the end, there's the final whistle.
And the referee comes over, takes the ball. No goals after an eventful 90 minutes at Estadio BBVA. Monterrey and Tigres came in knowing top spot was on the line, but ultimately neither side able to pick up the 3 points necessary to overtake Toluca. But an entertaining match from two of the very best in Liga MX. Well, that is all we have time for on behalf of the entire crew. My partner Warren Barton, I'm Keith Costigan saying thank you for joining us. Once again, the final score from Estadio BBVA: Monterrey 0, Tigres 0.